Yo, Thunderbolts, by far the best movie in the multiverse saga, post Endgame. Anybody who doesn't agree, screw yourself, all right? Because this was the best movie since Endgame, okay? And it's like unexpectedly the best movie in the multiverse saga. I didn't expect it to be bad because I said it myself. Thunderbolts is actually one of the projects this year that Marvel can use to make a comeback. I forgot when I said it. Was it during Fantastic Four trailer or Thunderbolt trailer? I don't know when I said it, but I said it. Okay. And I was right because this is literally the project that's making people go like Marvel is back, you know? So they did this movie so well. And it just makes me think, where was Marvel for the past 5 years in making quality content like this? Okay. When Captain America Brave New World came out in March, I watched that movie. That movie gave me a feel that I haven't gotten in like 5 years because that movie made me feel like this movie should not belong in the multiverse saga. It was more like an Infinity Saga style movie because they didn't focus too much on all the cringe comedy every few minutes, focusing too much on like some whatever propaganda, you know what I mean? So it was more story driven. It was serious. Like I'm like, okay, this is a movie that does not belong in the multiverse saga. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a one-off thing. Marvel just happened to make one serious movie, and then Daredevil came out. Okay, they're actually continuing it. It's not a one-off. And then Thunderbolts. I'm like, okay, Marvel is actually back after all. They're making banger after banger after banger. That's quoting Drew McIntyre. So so yeah, so I'm like, where was Marvel the past 5 years in making content like this? Because like obviously they still got it. So what made y'all not do it the past 5 years, and now all of a sudden you want to do it? These movies were great. These movies and series that came out this year are actually great. 2025 might be the year of Marvel, bro. We still have Fantastic Four. I believe still have Ironheart. I'm not gonna be too hateful on Ironheart. I'm gonna give it a chance since they've been, doing, because if all these movies were bad, and then I might not give Ironheart a chance. But now that all of this are actually good, so I might actually give it a chance to see. It might be good. We don't know, right? So yeah, best movie in the multiverse saga, no doubt. All right. So few things about this movie I want to say. One thing is, the first thing is, they call this movie the Thunderbolts, right? But it was more like, this is not even a Thunderbolts movie. It's more like a Yelena movie because they focused way, 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 way too much. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt like this, because I did see some people say Yelena had too much screen time, which is agreeable because she did have a lot of screen time. They focused way too much on her compared to any other members, in the team. That I'm like, is this even a Thunderbolts movie? It feels more like they want to make this a Yelena movie, but if they made this a Yelena movie, people might complain, hey, we don't actually need a movie for her. So they made, like a Thunderbolts movie, but then they made it focused on her. Um, Literally everything was focused on her. The movie started with her, and then what she was doing, how she was overcoming Natasha's death, which is fine, and then how she actually needed Alexi wasn't there. How she What she did as a kid that still kind of haunts her, how she overcomes it, this, that, everything. Like she had the most like she was like the only character that had this much stuff going on. And also she was also like one of the main people that kind of stopped Sentry or the Void from total destruction, causing total destruction. So yeah, they focus too much on Yelena. It's just what I'm saying. And also they also focused on like oh shit, what was I going to say? Yeah. They did focus too much on some female characters too, other than Yelena. Valentina, for example, I feel like they're trying to forcefully make her the the reverse Nick Fury, if you get what I mean. And there was one scene, particular scene in this movie. I'm not sure if people noticed it or remember it. They kind of put her in Tony Stark's place because there's this one scene in the new Avengers Tower where I remember that scene in the first Avengers movie. Tony is at the bar making a drink, and then Loki approaches him. There's a scene 100% similar, but in Loki's place it's the Thunderbolts, and in Tony's place it's Valentina. So yeah, and then there was this another character too called Mel. I was trying to find out if she's actually a comic character, but she's not. But for whatever reason, they focused so much on her. Like they gave her a lot of character depth for no reason at all. I'm like, for what? She had more character depth in this movie than Bucky. All right, so those people who want to watch this movie because of Bucky don't even like Bucky. Bucky pretty much had an extended cameo role in the movie. Don't even, right? This character Mel, like they gave her a lot of character depth. Like Bucky's telling her, like, yeah, you know, Valentina is bad. You know, you should think about doing the right thing, make the right choices. And then Valentina's like, you should know which side you should pick. You know, it's my side or their side. I'm like, who cares? Who is this character? Why is she given so much character depth? Like, why? Focus on Bucky, focus on John Walker or Ghost. Like, Ghost pretty much had no, like, I don't know, like, you get what I mean? Like, some characters deserved more, like, writing, you know, rather than just being there. And then you just have this character who just happens to be Valentina's assistant, but then they gave her, like, so much writing, like, oh, what side you should pick, what choices you should make. I'm like, who cares, man? You all right? Another thing about the title Thunderbolts. Um, I actually didn't think about this after coming out of the movie, but eventually I've kind of thought about it. Like they didn't use the title that they eventually got, because this whole movie they never actually referred themselves as Thunderbolts, or at least officially. Okay, they did like comedically call themselves the Thunderbolts in like a joking-ish way, but nobody officially, they didn't officially address themselves as the Thunderbolts. Bro, even the name Thunderbolts came because of Yelena. Apparently that was Yelena's school football team's name, and then like Alexi kind of jokingly called them the Thunderbolts. So yeah, so they nobody, like the public didn't officially address them as the Thunderbolts. You know, a government or even themselves, nobody addressed them officially as the Thunderbolts. And then they eventually got a new name, the New Avengers. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't care about spoilers. So I actually thought a lot about why they didn't just go with the New Avengers title to begin with, but the answers was in the credits. All right, they gave you the answers in the credit itself, because literally the credits was all like what the public would have said, the fans would have said if they actually called this movie the New Avengers and this was the cast. All right, that was smart. That was genius. That was great writing. I'm like, this is Marvel writing. Where was this writing before this? With like, they did it on purpose because they know people will hate it if they just went with the New Avengers name first, and then this was the lineup and everybody's gonna be like, this is not my Avengers. And that's literally what was in the credits. The whole credits was what the people would have said. Like in a way it's kind of trolling all you motherfuckers on the social media, because that's what you always say, like, oh, this is not my, uh yeah, so it's genius writing actually. So the whole Thunderbolt name, from not even focusing on any of the members, it's just like a Yelena movie, to them not addressing themselves as Thunderbolts at all officially. And then I thought, yeah, the Thunderbolts name is actually just a mask for the New Avengers, because if they just named this movie New Avengers from the first place, people would have, bombarded this movie like, oh my god, this is not my Avengers. How can this be the New Avengers? How can this character replace this character? There's always gonna be people like that. So yeah, man. All the characters in this movie. Look, I didn't expect one thing is this movie I wanted this movie to be good, but the team, okay, for whatever reason, this team worked so well together for reasons that I can't find to explain how. Like it's like they work so well as a team. I don't know if it's the acting or the writing or whatsoever, but they worked so well together as a team. It's like it felt perfect. You know what I mean? It was, some team ups feel forced, like you just know it doesn't work. This team up doesn't work. The team themselves don't want to make this work. Like it's pretty forced, but this doesn't seem forced. Like even though they don't want to be a team, but it's like they were just meant to be a team, and they were just so well, like the chemistry between each member. It was like, you get what I mean. They worked so well as a team, which is totally unexpected. I didn't expect them to be perfect actually as a part of a team. So that was actually pretty great. I did not expect this team to work so well, man. Everything was perfect about this movie, bro. All right, man. Each character, like I said, Yelena was the main focus. Everything was about Yelena. Ghost was most likely the most OP character in the movie. She was like the infiltrator of the, like she could get in and out of places. I think she might have been the reasons, like some of the times that the team were able to escape somewhere. John Walker was, I loved his character arc. John was probably the only other character other than Yelena to actually have some kind of depth on his personal life. Because they showed about how he struggled with, it was not even that long, but it was really brief, maybe 1 minute at most, about his people coming out with articles saying he's like the failed Captain America and all that. That was not cool. Because he did his job, and then they kind of eventually revealed some stuff about his life and what he wanted to do. There was one thing that it didn't hit me at the time that it happened, and eventually I'm like, oh shit, that's what he wanted to do because of his what happened to him. So he was like the military guy of the team. He was the one that like kind of explained what Project Sentry was. He was the military tactical guy of the team. Alexei kind of just joined in with the team. Like he just wanted to save Yelena, and he kind of just barged in, and then be like, yeah, we're a team. Bucky had an extended cameo in the movie. Like you can't, like, Bucky is not even like, he was a congressman. They revealed it in Captain America, and in this movie he pretty much had a cameo role. There's you gotta admit it, man. Come on. That was basically like an extended cameo role. He wasn't even there for like half of the movie. I mean, he was there maybe like briefly here and there, like just popped up here and there, mainly to make that assistant character relevant. Like, oh, you gotta do the right thing. Call me if you find out anything. That was basically his role, was to give the assistant character more depth. All right, and then only in the second half of the movie he kind of appeared more than he did, but still it just kind of felt like an extended cameo. But yeah, I guess for the amount of time he was on screen, he was great. Taskmaster, I mean, come on, bro. Taskmaster, I don't like Taskmaster. I never liked this version of Taskmaster, but I feel like it was a waste. They kind of failed the character a bit. Um, as someone that never liked this character, I don't know why. I'm feeling like they should have just kept her in the team. Um, I don't know, man. I'm kind of both sided. How can I hate this character? Like, I never liked this Taskmaster version at all. Okay, but when I watched the movie, I'm like, why kill her off? There was literally no reason at all to kill her off. Okay, because if she was gonna be killed off, and she wasn't even killed off by the Sentry. If she was killed off by the Sentry, I get it. Okay, but she was killed off by Ghost, which made no sense at all since Ghost didn't kill anybody else. Like that killing made zero sense. That was like the only thing in this movie that made zero sense is why Taskmaster was killed. Made zero sense. If you wanted to put her in the movie, you might as well just use her or don't put her in the movie at all. Since they're literally using Taskmaster to promote the movie, every poster has Taskmaster in it. Then why you might as well just use her to the end of the movie. It made no sense at all. Uh, all right, bro. The Sentry. Okay. Uh, they didn't totally ruin him. They actually portrayed him well. He was only the Sentry for like briefly when they he came out in the suit and everything. The suit looked great, and they actually kind of that whole scene was basically to just like show what his abilities was, and I think he was more the Void than the Sentry in the movie. But I'm actually excited to see more of the Sentry. They did not totally ruin the Sentry at all. They actually did him pretty well, and I'm surprised. Which is one of the reasons why I'm saying Marvel is back. Because if this was like anything in the past 5 years, they would have completely ruined the Sentry. All right, so I'm completely surprised they did not ruin Sentry, and they actually did Sentry pretty well. The Void, damn, bro, the Void, the Void was dangerous as hell. But they gotta mention one thing though. All right. Also, yeah. Wait. Before that, it was pretty funny. One scene in particular that I just remembered with the Sentry was pretty funny. Is that Valentina was the one that was controlling the Sentry? Okay, because Valentina kind of did something like Madeline Stillwell. Is that her name? I forgot. Forgive me if I got that wrong. From The Boys, that the Sentry and Valentina kind of reminded me of Madeline Stillwell and Homelander from The Boys, but minus all the weird stuff. Uh, you know what the weird stuff is. It was kind of like that, but eventually it was pretty funny how Sentry was like, wait a minute, I have the power of the gods. I am the god. I'm the strongest of like superhero in the world. Why am I taking orders from you? That scene was hilarious. All right, I found that scene to be really funny because Valentino was basically giving him orders like, "Hey, go and kill the Thunderbolts, go and do this, do that," and he was like, "Why am I taking orders? I'm literally a god. I have the powers of a god. You made me to be the strongest Avenger, which includes a god. I have the power. Why am I taking orders from you?" That was really funny. I'm not even joking, bro. That was pretty funny. But Sentry, they did Sentry really, really well. But what I wanted to say about the Void was that they better mention what the Void did because it's impossible to ignore it. Like, because this happened in New York. Okay, if this happened in any other city, it's fine. It happened in New York, where 90% of the superheroes are there. Okay, and what the Void did was basically cover the entire New York City in darkness, where everybody who was there turned into shadows. So, like, literally covered the entire city, which the city that has Daredevil, which recently came out, the Punisher, Spider-Man, like a lot of other characters who lived there. There is no way these characters went by surviving this shit, and they don't really talk about it. You know what I mean? Because they have to actually talk about it. Like the whole city covered in darkness, everybody turning into shadows. There's no way it did not affect any other character. It made no sense. Okay, so they 100% should mention it in any other project, like the city turned into shadows or whatever. Like it could be some reference like that. They acknowledged something like this happened because this is not something that you can just avoid. It's just not some attack in a small part of the city where other heroes somewhere else will be like, oh, whatever. Like it covered the entire city. So it will make no sense if no hero acknowledged this or no hero actually went through this. Like that would be a giant like plot hole whatsoever. So yeah, oh man, this movie was great, bro. Like to summarize the movie without like needing to spoil a lot is like Valentina, she's gonna get fired from the government, and the government is like trying to find anything that they could relate to Valentina so they can arrest her. So Valentina wants to destroy all the evidence that can connect back to her, which includes the members of the Thunderbolts. So eventually, the Thunderbolts found out that she's actually evil and wants to kill him. They team up, and eventually Bucky and Alexei joined in, and they go head to head with Valentina and the Sentry. So that's basically the gist of what the plot is. So how they achieve this, how they go against the Valentina, how they join together as a team, how they uh, you know beat the Sentry and the Void. How what that's basically what the plot is. Okay. Post credit scene. There was one post credit scene which was more like a joke, uh, comedy type post credit scene, but the second post credit scene, man, that whole scene was great. This was this is OG MCU style post credit scene, and uh this is something that has been lacking in the MCU is post credit scenes teasing something of the future. It is something that has been lacking in the entire MCU since because it's supposed to be Kang Dynasty, right? They have multiple projects in the MCU that teased Kang Dynasty, like Loki, which is now completely irrelevant since Kang Dynasty is not happening anymore, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So there have been some build-ups towards Kang, but literally we're a year away from Doomsday. Literally no um like no build-up whatsoever. It's been 5 years, no build-up towards Doomsday. I said Doom Dynasty. What the fuck? Doomsday. Sorry, got it confused with Kang Dynasty. I said Doom Dynasty. That's so stupid. Um, yeah, so they revealed something at the end of Brave New World where like you don't know what's coming, right? Well, the leader said that, and then with this in this project they actually had more teas. So this is an OG MCU thing that has been lacking in past 5 years, that there's nothing leading up to the future of the MCU to the next Avengers movie, because in the Infinity Saga, since the first phase, okay, there's always been some kind of tease towards um Infinity War and Endgame, which are like years ahead, okay, but past 5 years, phase 4, now we're at the end of phase 5, no build up whatsoever to the Avengers movie. I mean, it would have had build up if Kang Dynasty was still a thing, but it's not anymore. So only this year, 1 year before Doomsday, we're actually getting some kind of build up. So this post credit scene was actually really good. They teased the upcoming movie, Fantastic Four. Everybody looked great in that scene. The outfit and everything, shit, they looked great. All right, everybody looked great. I think there's like an ongoing plot there with Sam, because Sam wanted to start the Avengers, and then now they have their own, like, this whole Avengers group itself. So I don't know, maybe this could be the new Avengers, and then Sam could make like the official Avengers, maybe like more like, I don't know, like more superpowered individuals, because the new Avengers mostly, I mean, Ghost is the only one that has some sort of superpowers, right? The others are just like assassins and super soldiers. So we got three super soldiers. Yelena just no powers, just an assassin, and then you have Ghost who actually has abilities, and the Sentry who can't transform into the Sentry because he might trigger the Void. So I mean, yeah, maybe we could use another Avengers team which is more like super powered and more powerful in a way. So yeah, damn, this is a really long video. All right. So I guess that is all for me for Marvel's Thunderbolts. This movie was great. I think we have Ironheart left in Phase 5, if I'm not wrong, because I always thought this project was the last one in Phase 5. But even still, this is actually a really great way to end a phase compared to Phase 4, which was ended with Wakanda Forever, which was, yeah, terrible. Uh, so yeah, you know what? I'm done. Okay, so we're 25 minutes already. So yeah, I'm done. That is all for me for Marvel's Thunderbolt. Thank you very much for watching this long ass video. Yeah, comment down below what you thought about the movie. So if you enjoyed it or you didn't like it, it made no sense if you don't like it. There's something wrong with you if you didn't like this movie. Okay. So anyways, that is all for me. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Take care. Goodbye.